All right. Okay.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming, Empath Podcasting. And good morning, Thomas, and good afternoon, people in Japan, and maybe good evening for some other country. Uh,
Mhm.
Welcome to Empath podcast session. It is so good to see many of you here today from different places around the world. My name is Hiro, Executive Director and founder of the Empath Foundation.
And my name is Jimeno, a member of Empath Foundation, and we're going to be your host for today's podcast session. Before we start, we'd like to share a few reminders. Dino-san, thank you. During the podcast session, please keep your microphone muted and your camera turned on. Please note that this session will be recorded. We kindly ask for your understanding and cooperation. Screenshots may also be taken during the session. These images may later be published on Enpath website or social media channels. If you do not wish to appear in these images, please join the session with your camera turned off. If you have any questions regarding the podcast conversation or experience any technical issues, please inform us via the chat box. We kindly ask that the chat box be used only for discussion-related messages. Please avoid posting unrelated topics or messages. So, today's session is called Beer, Factories and Passion, and we will talk about Pilsner, the world's most popular beer, and Czech industrial heritage, and the incredible passion behind them.
Thank you. Thank you, Hira-san. All right, before we begin, let us briefly explain about the Empath Foundation. Dina-san, please.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dinu. So I will explain about the Empath Foundation briefly. Let me share my screen. Okay. Empath Foundation is a Japanese-based non-profit foundation. It's dedicated to making the world a better place by connecting people and communities around the world through our events, dialogue, and art experiences related to our main pillars. We aim to create a meaningful international connections and explore how people, communities, and local values can grow together. So here are our main pillars: Open Factory World Forum, Art Festival and Happiness, Coffee Culture United, and Empath Culture and Learning. So as you can see here, we mention our social media platform as well. So if you would like to follow us, you can just simply scan this QR code to get the access for our social media profile, and you can follow us and stay connected to get to know about our future events and activities. So today's session is a part of Open Factory World Forum pillar. I will hand over to Hiro-san to explain about it and start the podcast. Thank you.
Thank you, Dinu. This is one of our key pillar, Open Factory World Forum. Through this initiative, we hope to connect the people and organizations around the world who are working with open factory, industrial heritage like today, and the community stories around the manufacturing and work. Today, we are very happy to welcome Thomas Robok from Pilsen, Czech Republic. Thomas is a founder of the Czech Industrial Heritage Project and Czech National Representative of ERI and the European root of the industrial heritage. Thomas, thank you very much for joining us today. We are very happy to welcome you. Could you please tell us a little about yourself and your work?
Of course. Hello and good morning, good afternoon to everyone. I'm pleased that I can be with you and I can talk today. Just briefly about me, I have been involved within the industrial tourism, open factories, and industrial heritage topics for more than 2 decades by now. It's something that is connected kind of with my career that started at the Pilsner Urquell Brewery in 2004. And since then, I have been involved in many industrial heritage and open factories projects, not just in the Czech Republic, but also around Europe and many European countries. So
Wow.
that's very briefly about me, and I'm sure I have few points to tell you about open factories and about industrial heritage.
Thank you. It's very interesting. By the way, I just saw Kaloy. He's today's participant, and he is our speaker as well. Last time we had the podcast. Thank you, Kaloy, coming here.
Hello. Sorry, my camera is not working at the beginning. No, it's working.
Okay. Thank
It
you.
seems I logged twice into the Zoom meeting.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. But I'm amazed, Thomas. You have more than 20 years you're doing this. Thank you very much. Okay. We're gonna start from the part one, the story behind it all. Okay. We have a question. We prepare a question. Thomas, you spent like 11 years at the Pilsner Urquell Brewery in the tourism and heritage department. Pilsner is famous for Pilsner Urquell. It's a very famous beer, and I think everyone drank once a year, once in a life. And it is almost one of the important industrial cities in the Czech Republic. I just wondering, what was the experience like for you in brewery? And was there a moment when you first felt that industrial places heritage can have a special value for people and communities?
Yes, as you said, and I already mentioned, I've started working for the Pilsner Urquell Brewery, which is based in Pilsen, and it's one of the two big brands that are connected with my hometown, which is the city of Pilsen. One is Pilsner Urquell as a beer brand, and the other is Škoda. We can talk about it later. Basically, when I started and when I applied for my first job in 2014, I would say for many people it's like a dream job or a dream employer in the region because there is a big tradition behind the company. The company has been very successful, not just locally but internationally. Today, they export to, I believe, 54 countries around the globe, including Japan, for example. And my kind of intention and goal was through joining what was called the Tourism and Heritage Department to open the factory, the brewery, the company to the public. Of course, we are talking about many years ago, and it wasn't anything that would be obvious or easy for the companies to do at that time. My colleagues and my boss that already work there in that department, they started with opening the company for public in 2001. Basically, it all started with rebuilding the brewery, and I'm talking about big scale. So we first thing was to build a huge visitor center to be able to welcome the visitors with a big reception and everything you can imagine, restrooms. There was a restaurant connected with that, and a big parking lot, including parking for the buses. So this was the basic infrastructure. So the factory can actually invite people because you don't want the people, to be standing outside in the rain and have nowhere to park and nowhere to use the toilet. I know it might seem funny or, it's you might say it's not important, but it is important actually, and it is very important because if you don't have the basics, the basic infrastructure, it's very hard to do this. And with doing that, we started to welcome people in And since the brand is well known around the world, it's not only about visitors from Czech Republic or local visitors, but also from visitors from all around the world. What we did at that time, and it kind of came natural, and we thought that we are doing right thing, even though we didn't have any comparison and we didn't really read any smart books on the topic. We try to build it on the concept past, present, and future, which we found out after some years that is actually the concept which is right for doing this. And we decided we want to present the past, the heritage, the history, which was very, and it still is, very important for the factory, for the people, and also for the community, meaning people living in Pilsen and maybe working in the brewery in the past times, and then showing them the present, which means that people can see and look and even try and taste what the work and what the factory is about today, but also going to the future, because all these big factories, doesn't matter if they are in Japan, Czech Republic, or Africa, they have a big task with being sustainable, being responsible, and caring about what is going to be in 5 years, 10 years, but also 100 years. So we also are trying to tell the story, not only what used to be and what is, but what is going to be in the future, showing the people also where the factory and where the company is going. So that's what we started from scratch, from zero, basically. And I've left the brewery, but today, even, it's been one of the most visited sites in Europe. There is many hundreds of thousands people coming every year uh, to see the brewery, and I think it's working very well.
Wow. Wow. I can imagine like people work in a brewery, they can meet customers at the right
Mhm,
place. And the customer
mhm,
also can see the people
mhm.
working. This is very meaningful, right? And also you said the
Exactly.
past, present, and the future. People work in the brewery is very proud of it. So your grandpa, grandma, all those people used to work there. So it's connected, community and the customers. Wow, thank you.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, it wasn't easy at the beginning
Mm.
because some people didn't perceive it positively, that they will
Oh.
have other people coming to see how they work and what they do. Of course, not
Mm.
everyone wants to be watched when working. But at the same time, we had to explain them the benefits, and I think that they understand today, and they
Mm.
understood why the company is doing it and what it brings to the company and to them as employers, and also to the whole community, so, and the whole city. So that was one of the challenges. Of course, there was many challenges, because if you want to open the company for the public, especially company that is making some, in this case, drink or food,
Mm.
there's so
Mm.
many rules you have to obey and you have
Yeah.
to follow, like
Yeah.
hygienic and
Mm.
security and European Union laws, and many, many others. But still, we believe that the benefits are more than what it costs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Let me ask you our second question. In 2015, you left and started Pilsen Joy, launched the Czech Industrial Heritage Project, and became the ARI national representative. Three significant commitments all at once. That takes real courage, I think. What pushed you to make that leap?
Yeah. there were many people asking me why I did that, especially at the stage when I decided to leave. There were several factors, but one of the biggest factors from a work perspective was that I really saw that there are other topics and other things that I can pick up and I can start moving forward and I can explore. And one of it was that, as I said, we had so many people coming to see the brewery, but at the same time, they left after visiting the factory and they didn't see the rest, what there is to offer in the region, which I found out is a pity. And I decided I want to step in as a local tour operator, offering the people to do and see much more within the region than just seeing one thing, which is the most well known and most significant and most popular, but at the same time, there's much more to see. And of course, having so many people in the city, there are other partners and other sites and other places that wanted to take the advantage of having all those crowds coming to Pilsen, and I wanted to help that also. So one thing was that I really was active in offering the services like transportation, guiding, finding right restaurants and accommodation and those kind of things. But at the same time, we together with the city of Pilsen and also the Pilsen region started to talk about something that today we call Industry Open, and we started to include other companies and other industrial places and other industrial heritage monuments and museums within the project, which of course takes time. And this is a thing that, doesn't happen in a few days or a few weeks because you have many, many people and many, many companies and many, many partners being involved. And if you have a big company, it takes time because they have to talk to the management and then they are, looking for pros and cons and trying to figure out if it's a good idea or not. But at the same time, we managed to start the project, and very shortly, we had more and more participants, more and more partners joining it, and now it's
Wow.
a big thing. So, and we were trying to work with kind of three dimensions. One is the social dimension, which we already talks about because it really provides like a frame for cooperation suddenly. The other is the cultural, of course, because we also in that kind of magic year 2015 for me and also for Pilsen, we became, and those of you who are from Europe might know that, we became the European Capital of Culture 2015, which is a very well-known project, and the city of Pilsen kind of boosted with people coming to the city, and there was so many things happening. We had worldwide known artists coming to Pilsen from all over the
Oh,
world. It was a great year. So we wanted to take the advantage of that special year, and we wanted to go forward and make it even bigger. Of course, everyone at the end is asking about the money, which is the last important aspect of both of these
yeah,
three. First
yeah.
is social, the other one is cultural, and also financial. But I think we managed to explain to the partners and to the people that it also has a financial impact. And if you start to do these things, there are new things that start to occur. People start new businesses. You have new vacancies for open jobs. You have people coming in. You have people spending money. You have suddenly new places that you didn't have as being part of the city. So it really was kind of special. and starting the travel agency, starting the industrial project, not only on the local level. I talked about Industry Open, but I also started the Czech Industrial Heritage Project, which also was not about the region, but about the Czech Republic. And being part of Airy, which I already knew because of the brewery, was really something special. But it really worked very well together, and I was trying to always find the connections and the amplifications and the benefits and everything. So I can, one thing I was doing within Airy, I could take to use at the local level. What we did at the local level, I was able to present at ERI for the European level and best practices over there. So, and it's really, I think it wasn't easy, not at all. And but it's still working until today. It's still going forward, and it was worth it. It cost a lot of time and a lot of effort, but I think we can see real results and everything we did, even though some things we thought at the beginning would work a little different, they still work until today.
Wow. That's a very success story, and almost you explained the secret of the how to operate industrial heritage. This is cannot be sold as a free. You have to be a good consultant. It's very good story. Thank you.
You know what? Actually, what really helped me personally, and if I should
Yeah.
be personal, since I was the tourism heritage manager at the brewery, I really
Okay.
had a chance to connect with many, many people and many partners, having the Pilsner Urquell, big brand and big company behind your back, which really helped. And then when I, was on my own, people kind of knew me, and they knew that I'm a person that they can do business with and they can rely
Mm,
on and they can believe, and they
mm,
can
mm.
kind of, give it a try. So that really
Yeah.
helped me a lot.
Yeah. Wow, good. Because you not only explain the big company do everything, also you connect even small companies and the mid-sized companies, and not only factories, even maybe service industries. That's why as a community getting stronger, right? And
Yes.
maybe through this kind of different industries and different sides of the company, once they do collaborate, some new innovation will start. Hmm. It's very good example. Thank you. All right. You explained quite many things, but I still want to know a couple of things. Question three. You have taken many different people to industrial places, not only tourists, maybe student or company groups. Could you share one moment you will never forget? Maybe like a visitor's reaction or some special place or moment reminded you why this work is so important. Something you can never forget, the moment, if you have.
Well, yeah, there is of course many stories and many moments because as I already mentioned, I have been doing this for quite a long time, and
Mm,
every group, every program, every student group brings something special, and
mm.
sometimes people come just for a few hours. Sometimes
Oh.
people come for few days. Of course, I'm not in a position that I would be with them all time anymore because I have a group of cooperating guides and colleagues that
Mm,
are
mm,
great, and many of them way better than me, and they know a lot about the topic. And I'm not an expert for everything, of course. But of course, there's few moments I remember and I can share. Uh, the first one would be um, I was really one of my one of my challenges and
mm,
very good experiences is that there is a clay mine that
mm,
is not far from the city of Pilsen in one of the small villages, and it was for a long time unused and closed for public. It was
mm, mm,
closed. and no one could enter. And through quite a lot of effort, we really managed to, after several years, to make it a project, to get the money, the financing, get everything right, get the approvals for entering the mine. And after several years, we were able to open it for the public. And there is lots of people going there. They have thousands of people visiting every month, many students. There is a big light festival taking place there. So the local artists, but also worldwide artists
Wow.
are having their displays down there. It's magnificent because if you imagine you're under the ground and you have all these lights and it's really beautiful. So this is something that really is still, even though it's been like 7 years, it's I still remember that moment, and it's something I really cherish among everything I did. What I really like, and that's the second thing I would mention, is, and you already said that at the beginning, is the nostalgia and the memories
Ah,
of the people. And it's really special. If you take someone to a factory and
yeah.
you give him a tour and they see the places, they talk to the employees, and then you find out, for example, in the middle of the tour or at the end of the tour, that there's a person who worked there all his life or all her life, and he or she is retired for, let's say, 20 years by now, and she is so proud of what she or he is seeing, and she starts to tell you the stories how it used to be 50 years ago when they worked there, and the experiences and how it changed, and how they are still happy that they didn't close down, and they see that they're still prospering and they're still doing well, and they can be proud of it, and they know that they were part of the business and part of the story and the company for many years, which is always very, very special, and it's very touching always. And
Yeah.
it's again, there's lots of concrete connections and concrete people that maybe you form a friendship, and you still stay in touch. And then I have one other story, which might be a little funny. I remember one time
Yeah.
I was visiting a nuclear power plant factory,
Ooh. Oh,
nuclear power
okay.
plant with a
Isn't
group
that
of
dangerous? Oh,
yeah, with a group of university students.
okay.
And there are strict rules, of course, to enter the
Yeah.
nuclear power plant for a tour. And one of the rules is that they pick a person, and you have to prove that you don't have any alcohol in your blood, that you're sober, that you didn't drink. So we wanted
Okay.
to, play it. We wanted to play it safe, and we picked the driver of the bus to be sure that he doesn't have any alcohol, and which, of course, he did at the end. So that was kind of interesting and kind of surprising for us, all of us.
Yeah.
But at that time, it wasn't very funny. But when I think about it now, yeah, it's maybe a story to tell. So as you see, you run into many interesting stories and interesting moments that you have to solve always.
Wow. Wow. I'm amazed that kind of a claim mine, kind of closed, but with artists, they open and they actually add the extra value for it. That's really wonderful.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those funny moments, Thomas-san.
Yeah.
My fourth question is, the Czech Republic has such a rich industrial story. Pilsner Urquell, Skoda, the Batasho Shoe Company, the crystal makers. But it's also a story that goes through some really complicated times. The communist era, the war years. When you're guiding someone through that story, how do you handle the hard parts?
Hmm. Well, thank you for mentioning all those famous brands, because even though we are still quite a small country in the middle of Europe, There are big names and big brands that are international and very well known around the globe. Actually, just to mention Baja, the shoe company, they had a big fire there 3 days ago or 4 days ago,
Oh,
and uh, one of the buildings actually collapsed. So I was following that very closely, and there is still businesses inside. So that was a bad thing. We'll see what will be happening with those companies that lost all their products and all the production. But back to the question you asked. I think that, or at least my experience is that the tours I'm doing and speak and hosting, I do it the way that I, give them the information how it was. Of course, if people come from far away, from let's say Asia, or they come from United States or other parts of the globe, they usually don't know a lot about the history of Czech or Czechoslovakia. But at the same time, they kind of know that we went through, of course, the First World War, the Second World War, then the communist era, and all these difficult times. So I like to include those topics or those difficult times into the tours and programs and the topics. I think it's really interesting for the people who come to hear it. What I think that works really well is not talking about the things and giving so many, uh, let's say, figures and dates and facts. It's rather about giving the people the stories. And behind those complicated subjects or complicated times of our state, uh, through those stories, for example, talking about the Second World War, giving the people the stories of the people who lived here, who worked here, who, for example, liberated Pilsen, uh, is a way, I think, how to deal with those difficult things and how to put it to the people the way they really will understand and they think will perceive it kind of even positively, although the topic is not hard. Of course, and that's I want to mention as a guide, because I've guided thousands of groups in my life. You always should know your audience. Because of course, the same thing you have to explain differently to, of course, the children and the adults. But it's not only this, you have to put it a different way to people, let's say, who come from United States and you know that they don't know much, or you have expert group on industrial heritage or on history as such. Of course, there's some topics that you mention and you don't mention because we lie very close to Germany. Of course, for example, there is the Jewish question and the history of the Jewish community, which is very sensitive. So, of course, you have to be kind of careful and talk about it differently when you have a group from Germany and so on and so on. So I think it's really important to know who you're talking about and kind of be on the same level. So it's always interesting for your group and for the people you talk to, and at the same time, they understand what you are saying.
Thank you for your honesty, Thomas-san. And it makes me think about the bigger picture actually, because you're not just doing this in the Czech Republic, but you're part of something much larger. So let's move on
Yes.
to the part 3. The big picture and what's still unfinished. My 5th question is, you represented you represent the Czech Republic in ERI, a network of more than 2,500 industrial heritage sites across 51 countries. That's a huge community. What does being part of something that big feel like? And is there a country or site in that network that has completely blown your mind?
Hmm. Well, let me start with how actually I got to know Eric and how I found out about Eric. Because as I
Amazing.
was saying, we started kind of big with the Pilsner Urquell brewery tour and all these things that we opened for the public and we were doing for the people. And we became kind of big in the number of visitors and in the number of uh, let's say tours and offers and programs we were having, and also other programs that we were doing at the courtyard, like concerts and cultural events and so on and so on. And we kind of knew that we are not the only ones in the world doing it, but at the same time, there was really no one to benchmark in the Czech Republic. Uh, but I mean, I don't mean it that we were the best, but we, because of the brand, we were, and we started kind of soon. I mean, soon for Czech, because as you know, we had communism until
Yeah.
1989, so we couldn't do anything until then. Of course, there are other countries, and I'll move on to that, like England and Germany and many others who understood the industrial heritage topic much sooner than when we could or we did. But as I said, we started doing big things. We had many visitors, and we were looking for someone not just in the Czech Republic but around Europe. And we found Ari, that was the representative for industrial sites and industrial attractions and industrial museums around Europe. And we got in touch with them and we said, hey, we are doing this. We are based in Pilsen. Come to see us and see if we could be part of it. So they did. I think they were kind of amazed what they saw, and we became very soon what they call anchor point, which is like the most significant sites within ERIC. I think there's about 100 of them right now around Europe. So we became the first anchor point, and I became a contact person for ERIC. And that's how I started to get to know the ERIC family. That's how we call ourselves now. There's several hundred people who share the values, who have the same interest, who have been involved within the European heritage, industrial heritage for a long time. And most of them are representatives of some industrial sites. So I started to work on the projects that are within ERI. There's many of them. I started to join the conferences which Eric is organizing every year in autumn, which take place always somewhere different around Europe. So it's always a different country. Last year it was in Germany. This year it's in Greece. We also hosted one conference in 2015 again in Pilsen in the Czech Republic. And you have all these people around Europe, but not only around Europe, there are also people coming to speak or be even participants from other countries, of course. And and this is a family of people that, as I said, share the same values and share their experiences and their knowledge. And I think this is, again, one of the biggest benefits that if you're dealing with a project, if you're dealing with a problem, if you have an issue, if you have something you want to move forward, you have, many colleagues around you within Europe that you can call, you can ask, you can write an email, you can meet, and you talk about it. And I think this is a great thing. How it works is that, as you said, also I became a national representative for the Czech Republic, so I'm kind of representing the industrial sites and industrial projects within the Czech Republic on European level. And this is how it works in all those other countries as well. So there are national representatives in different countries, and these are my key persons, key partners to deal with what I want to do. We are actually working on a new strategy now because again, we've been within ERIC, we've been functioning for again more than 2 decades by now, and we're working on some refresh because the times have changed. We have so many new members and so many countries that are involved now that I think, and even with what is going on around the world, we kind of have to
Oh.
look at the focus again.
Wow. Oh, that's really good. I like the word Eri family, it's like a
Yeah.
family connected. Yeah, I like it. I just found out in Japan we have an industrial heritage and we have an open factory, but Japanese government has a different division. Like
Mm-hmm.
industrial heritage is more like a cultural division,
Mm-hmm.
and the open
Mm-hmm.
factory is industrial division. So doesn't really connect it, but Eri is good. I feel. I hope we can learn something from you. Thank you. All
Well,
right.
it's
One
actually
more thing.
sorry,
Did you?
one last thing. It's actually we became a biggest culture route in Europe, and
Okay.
because we really are a functional company, I would say,
Mm,
which is
mm,
based in Germany, we are even able to get some money from European funds.
okay.
So partly we are financed by European Union on several
Oh,
projects, and
yeah,
partly
yeah.
we are financed by membership fees. And since we have so many members, it's still some money
Mm,
that
mm,
we can use for
mm,
promoting.
mm,
And that's the most important thing. The biggest
mm,
task of
mm,
ERI is not to preserve, of course, it's
mm,
the
mm,
basic thing,
mm,
but promote
mm,
and to
mm,
open the industrial heritage and factories to the public.
mm,
I didn't
mm,
answer your question, Jimeno, actually. You were asking if there is any side that completely blown my mind. I would like to mention a few things. I really was amazed. We had once conference in Amsterdam, in Holland, the Netherlands, and they took us to a diamond factory where they made
mm.
diamonds. It was really special and was really something.
Definitely.
I actually really like these things that you have to be very precise and you work with small things like diamonds. I also had a chance to visit several companies that make watches for time,
Oh,
like watch, and it's also very special. And talking
uh,
about glass, if you see people who are engraving glass, it's really
yeah.
special to watch those people. You have to be so skillful, and the craft is so hard. And there is usually only, few people that can do it in the world or in the country. That it's
Oh.
always very special thing to see.
Mm,
And from the
mm,
projects, actually, I would like to mention, I really like what they did in Poland.
mm,
They started in a big scale. They kind of had the rural area of Germany as an example,
mm,
and they started with their, let's say, they call it Szlak Zabytków Techniki in Polish, which would be like a route of industrial heritage in English, and they are doing really well. Those Polish colleagues really, I really like that. And my colleagues on the Czech side, or actually Moravian side, did something similar,
mm,
and it's becoming one of the, and it's a regional route that combines Poland and Moravia or Czech Republic,
mm,
which is really
mm,
special. It's really huge, and you have places again that it's very special to go in. I had a chance, for example, on the Polish side to go down
mm.
to the Guido mine, and I was down to 355 meters below the ground. So I don't
Ooh.
know if you guys have a chance to be so deep
Cannot imagine.
in the ground. It's very strange feeling for me, and that it's very special. It's very special. So yeah, there's many things. Even though I've seen a lot, there is every year when I go somewhere, there's something that is very special, and it always seems so great that people still are working on the projects that I don't know and I see for the first time.
Or I think I'm pretty sure I asked some Open Factories organization in Japan and make a tour to visit, yeah, the ERI, some of the one of the ERI organization. That's amazing.
Of course.
Thank you. All right. The last question is more like we want to hear a lot, but the last question should be a little bit personal. Okay. I would like to ask you something like you have an international background, okay, and but you keep coming back to a Pilsner and Czech Republic, like industrial heritage, and what keeps you connected to this work, and what does it give you personally?
Yeah. Well, one thing, of course, is that it's my home. I don't know
Yeah,
how you
that's
guys
true.
have it. You've been
Definitely.
traveling all around the world too, but still, it's my home. I was born here. I studied here. I have many friends. I have a family here, and the most important thing that I really love the city. The
Mm-hmm.
city of Pilsen is not very big. It's like 170,000 people. And I always like to say that there is not too many cities or towns of this scale, being quite small, that gave to the world those two huge international brands, which is Pilsner Urquell and Skoda. So it's kind of special for the city. And as I said, I like coming back and I like the place where I live. Not only because of the industrial heritage background, but also about the quality of living and being so close to other countries and being so close to Prague as a beautiful capital and so on and so on. From a personal point of view, of course, all this that I've been talking about, besides Pills and Joy as a travel agency, is kind of volunteer work that I
Oh.
don't get paid for. It's just a hobby and it's just for fun. But I have a business that is, we concentrate on helping companies and institutions with their strategies, mainly focused on communication and marketing. And most of these companies are innovations or technology. And it really helps me from this perspective to do this business with the knowledge of what I've been talking about for the whole time, which means knowing the history, cherishing the heritage, having this kind of past, present, future perspective. And I really think it even helps me with the business that the people, the owners of the businesses or the directors of the businesses kind of see that you understand what the business is about and how they think, and it's not about asking them for money to give them a marketing strategy. And I also helped in quite a few of those companies to explain them, well, okay, you are looking for new employers, so why don't you open the company and you show the people how you work here, and you
Yeah.
show the people the culture in the company, and you show them the colleagues, and again, it's very connected. And they said, sure, we didn't come up with this idea, but it's a good idea. So again, I'm trying to see and find the connections in my real work and in this industrial heritage projects.
Wow. This is a very meaningful. Yeah. Yeah. Something you're good at, and make help other people and make the community better place. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Thomas, for answering all the questions. Dino-san, can you check if we have some questions from the audience, please?
Yes, we have a message from Luis, Luis from Cameron. So he mentioned, Mr. Thomas, I appreciate deeply your efforts of managing your sector with the benefits and challenges, connection and information, visitors and neighbors. You are not only a boss but a parent too. So what are the some of those things you can identify from visitors before visiting, during the visiting, and after visiting that keeps you moving? And is language an issue to some visitors? That's the question.
Yes. Well, thank you for the nice words at the beginning. And of course, it's not easy to, I don't want to say force, but sometimes it's almost like that. The people, in a meaning of visitors, to visit something that is maybe not on their wish list for the first places. Because, of course, if you go to a country and you visit for the first time, you always, especially now on the social media, you have these top 10 and you want to see all those places where you can't even move before it's full of people. And I'm always trying to put in or include something that I am sure they will enjoy at the end, but they probably don't know or they don't find it as interesting. So some people at the beginning, as you are asking, before they come, are like, we are not sure. We want to go somewhere else. And I try to tell them, okay, I'm local. Believe me, you will enjoy it, and you will tell me at the end, and I'm sure you will like it. What I like during the visiting is that they really see what I always like about industrial sites and open factories is that it's not only about listening to the guide or just watching. It's about talking to the people. It's about, trying things. It's about tasting things. The interaction is much different than if you go to a castle or a museum. And I have nothing against museums and castles, but it's the way it is, if it's done properly. So usually I can see how the visitors enjoy the visit. And then after the visit, sometimes I really have groups that tell me at the end of the program, which is, for example, like 5 days, and they see so many places. And then the tour leader come to me at the end and he tells me, you know what? I'm so glad we did what you told us because it was the highlight of what we did throughout this trip. We liked Prague, but it's a tourist thing. There's so many people, just like everywhere. The place you took us was unique, was special. We enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, I think this is how it works. About the language issue, of course, it's an issue, especially in Czech or maybe in Japan, the same. Not many people speak the language outside of the country, so it's a challenge, especially with small providers, small partners. If you have a small company or small workshop, there's no one who speaks English, no one who speaks German. So you have to have someone who would translate, and it makes it complicated, but if you want to do it, you can. And you are also asking about the benefits and challenges. Well, it really depends, and it's really. I have kind of a let's say pattern that I follow to try to explain the people the benefits that they will be getting. But I'm also talking about the challenges because of course it's hard. It's something you have to consider. It's lots of complications for the company, for the workers, for the management, and sometimes they say no at the end, and it's just, for example, what I came like with the technological or innovations companies, sometimes the issue is even we can't show the people how we do it, because it's a secret. It's something that we don't want to show to our competitors. Sorry. We can show the people how we work and how we do it. So of course, I understand this is the way you do it. So let's figure out something else. And sometimes what I usually start with in those companies is, it's hard to explain to them that they should be open, like, whole year round, or every Friday, or every weekend. So we do something like day for employer families, or day
Yeah.
for the people who are interested in working in the company. And it's much easier for them to do it for one day, because, they kind of arrange everything, and they can work with it, and they can have the people in the company that are interested to help. But then suddenly, after that one day, they find out that they really can manage, and the employees are, okay with that, and they already know how to do it. And they found people from the company that are guiding the people inside, and they enjoyed it, and they say, I can do it anytime. And suddenly they see they can really do it like every month, or, every 2 weeks, and or soon during the summer. And suddenly they become part of the platform and part of the community, and suddenly they are someone that you can cooperate with on regular basis.
Thank you. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Luis. Luis, maybe you can have an open factory in Cameroon one day. Thank you. All right. As a host, would like to ask, yes, Kaloy-san, I would like to, you might have some question, since this is a good opportunity to meet.
Yes, Thomas, congratulations for your achievements at Pilsner Urquell, Prague, Czech Republic, and on the European level. And this year I have seen a huge improvement in Erich communications and design and whatever. My question is that at Pilsner Urquell, when they make these factory visits, is it a profitable thing or it just for brand awareness and marketing? Because, for example, in Hungary, Audi and Mercedes are organizing factory visits. Mercedes for free, Audi for some nominal fee, but considering the investments like visitor center, guiding, headsets, it's not a profitable thing. But I suppose Pilsner Urquell also sells beers and gifts and whatever. So what is the business model?
Well,
good question.
Good question. Very good question. Of course, as I said already, finance is always important at the end. That was, of course, the issue on regular basis. There were some investments at the beginning to build the tour, build the expositions, build the visitor center, rebuild the historical places in the brewery that cost some money, quite a lot of money at the beginning. And of course, the management was asking, okay, how do we get the money back? It is important, I think, to explain that what these companies are doing, it's not just about getting the money back from, let's say, selling the tickets for the tour, or selling some merchandising at the end of the tour, or selling some tasting or whatever. Of course, what you are doing is a way of marketing and communication and CSR activities. And if you take a look at your colleagues at the brand marketing department and trade marketing department and communication department, nobody is asking them, bring us the money back directly, because everybody knows that you're doing it for first thing, selling your product, but other thing, as you said, brand awareness and CSR activities, and being a good neighbor for your local community and for the country and so on. So I think it's always important to kind of see those things not just straightforward. Okay, you cost so much money, so you bring us those money back. In that department that I used to work for, there are also some parts of it that really will never make money, but they're an important part. For example, the brewery still employs 10 coopers. Those are the people who make the wooden barrels. Without those coopers, who are the only ones in Europe, maybe in the world, that really are the brewery coopers that can make those huge lager barrels, it wouldn't be functioning. It wouldn't be so successful. And there are other things like there's a real museum, there is a depository, there is archive of the brewery, and of course all these departments, all these parts just cost money. They never will make any money directly. What I think we kind of came to, I can't say what the situation is right now, but when I used to work there, was that we'll kind of break even at the end. So I think the management was happy about, having such a great advertising and great department that doesn't cost much and doing so much work and so much benefit in the field of trade marketing and communication and brand marketing. So I think this is the ideal way to do it, but of course not everyone can achieve it. And if the company like Mercedes, who decides, or many others who decide that they will not want any money for entrance fee for the tickets, of course they know why they do it, and they make money on something else, and they know that what it brings, it's much bigger than having several million euros per year maybe, or several thousand, hundreds of thousand euros per year is not the issue of the company. Maybe it's more a question for Hiro or Himeno, because the brewery now is owned by Asahi,
Oh,
Asahi Group. So I don't
Really?
know. Yes, Asahi is the boss. So I don't know what the expectations and what the targets at the moment are. But actually, I have to say that Asahi is the owner of the brewery for, I would say, maybe 9 years, something like that.
mm,
And me personally, I'm happy, and I'm glad that this owner, because I think they understand the traditions, they understand the heritage. I think they share the same values. Not many people know that, but I know that your country and Asahi or Kirin are very traditional, old brewing factories and brewing companies. And I think they really believe that the product is great the way it is. They don't touch the process of brewing. They don't tell the people how to make the beer, but of course they help with overall situation and
mm,
getting the beer around the globe and marketing as such. Now it's of course a connected European business. There are several other breweries that are part of the group. For example, in Poland, for example, in Romania, even in Hungary, because Dreher is part of the group, and other countries, Italy, and so on. So again, it's a connected global business today, big business, but
mm,
quite complicated. And
mm,
I'm not the right person to talk about it, but I hope I answered your question.
mm. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Karai-san, and thank you, Thomas-san. And I'm so relieved about the things. But I believe that same we are like a same human being, and no matter company has money or not, but we should respect each other. Not always money first, people first. Yeah, thank you. All
Mm.
right, thank you very much. Okay, so time's nearly
Let me
finished.
ask
So,
let me
oh
ask
yeah, yeah.
him one
Okay.
very last question, Thomas.
Mhm.
It's been such a good conversation. Thank you so much. And I really need to go to Pilsen now. By the way,
Well, then,
um, yeah, if someone watching today visits the Czech Republic and can only do one thing, what would you tell them to go and see? That's my last question.
Good question.
Well, it's a tricky question, of course. I think, of course, if you have first visit to Czech Republic, if you want to see what people are coming for, you go to Prague, of course. Prague is gorgeous. Prague is the number one place where people start, and it's the right thing to do. I mean, but at the same time, I like the way if I really manage, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, if I manage to explain to the visitors and the people who come to Prague that there is so much to see around. And we have an advantage in Czech or in Europe as such that you jump in the car, you jump on the train, whatever. Everything is very easy and cheap at the end. And in few hours, you are in different region, you are in different country, you are in different, history. And it's so much pity that some people come to Prague and stay, let's say, for 5 days, 1 week, and they have no idea what is awaiting them outside of Prague, just 1, 2 hours, which is nothing. And so my suggestion always is, if you have more than 1 day or 2 days in Prague, jump on a train and come to Pilsen, because Pilsen is one of the places you want to visit. Of course, there's many more around Prague in that distance, but yeah, that would be, I think, my answer.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you. All right. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, everyone. Today, we learned industrial heritage is not only about the buildings and machines. It is about the people, work, memory, craftsmanship, and the local pride. When we open the gate of these places, we can also open the stories of the communities behind them. To everyone joining us today, thank you very much. And if you would like to learn more about Thomas' work, please visit his website. We will share the link in the chat. And please take care of yourselves, and we hope to see you again at the next Empath podcast session. Dinu-san? Okay, our next coming event is about community things. Miho-san, she's doing in Mexico, Oaxaca, doing something good. And also August, we have a Peace Tourism Forum, a university student organized about the peace. Please enjoy the next event as well. And also we Open Factory World Forum. We have a Japanese Open Factories podcast in August, and please looking forward to it. Thank you very much. And by the way, before we finish the session, let's take a photo. Dinu-san?
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Smile, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you very
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you,
See you next
Thomas.
time.
Thank you for
Bye.
having me. It was
Thank you
great.
very much.
Bye-bye.
See you next
Bye.
time. Thank
Bye.
See
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you for inviting me, Hiro and Himeno.
Thank you, Thomas. Yeah, see you next time.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
you. Bye.